The afternoon sun glared down on Maplewood Estates, a quiet, picture-perfect neighborhood ruled by rules and appearances. When David, a calm, well-dressed man in his 30s, moved into the large white house on the corner, whispers spread faster than summer breeze. But none louder than Karen's, the self-appointed voice of the HOA. Standing on her porch with arms crossed, she watched him unload boxes. Her mind already made up. New tenants, she muttered to herself, assuming he was renting. But when she saw the moving truck parked slightly over the curb, that was enough for her. She grabbed her clipboard, her badge of power, and marched over. "Excuse me," she said sharply, "you can't park here without HOA approval." David turned slowly, offering a polite smile. "Good afternoon," he said softly. "I'll only be a few minutes." But Karen's tone grew harsher. "Rules are rules. We take order seriously here." David nodded, unbothered. "I'm sure you do," he replied, eyes steady. Karen had no idea, the very house she was protecting didn't belong to her community's pride, but to him. The next morning, Karen was already on her mission. With a pen and a sense of authority, she drafted a notice of violation. The paper accused David of everything from improper parking to unapproved landscaping, though he hadn't even unpacked yet. She pinned it to his door, satisfied. Inside, David noticed the paper, read it slowly, and chuckled. Not out of arrogance, but pity. He had dealt with this kind of judgment before. Later that day, while watering his plants, Karen approached again. "If you're renting, your landlord needs to contact me," she demanded. David looked up. "Landlord," he repeated, calm as ever. "Yes," Karen replied, chin lifted. "We keep this community in shape." He smiled gently. "I'm glad to hear that." His politeness only frustrated her more. That night, Karen called an emergency HOA meeting, ranting about unauthorized residents. But behind her words hid a deeper fear, a loss of control over a world she thought she owned. Days passed, and Karen's frustration grew. She noticed that David's lawn was perfectly trimmed, his trash cans properly placed, no violations she could truly prove. Still, something about him unsettled her. He carried himself with quiet confidence, and neighbors began greeting him warmly. Children waved when he passed. Even Mr. Thompson, who rarely spoke to anyone, had shared coffee with him. Karen couldn't stand it. One afternoon, she snapped. "This is an HOA community," she shouted as David walked by. He paused, calm and composed. "I know," he said. "I read the rules." "Then act like it," she barked. David only smiled again. "I intend to." As she stormed off, muttering about filing for eviction, David sighed softly. He had hoped for peace, but he knew some lessons reveal themselves slowly, and hers was only beginning. Karen's plan escalated. She prepared an official complaint to the HOA board, accusing David of violating residency regulations. At the meeting, her words flowed with confidence, until the HOA president interrupted. "Karen," he said cautiously, "are you sure he's not the owner?" She scoffed. "Of course not. He's just staying there." Laughter echoed from one side of the room. "You might want to check the records," the president replied. But Karen ignored him. That weekend, she delivered a final, warning notice to David's door, stamped in red. As she walked away, she didn't notice him standing at the window, quietly folding property documents into a neat folder labeled ownership. David's patience was deep, but even patience has limits when truth is treated like a crime. A week later, Karen gathered neighbors on the sidewalk. "He's ignoring every rule," she said loudly. "We'll start eviction proceedings." But before she could finish, a black car pulled into the driveway. Out stepped two well-dressed professionals, real estate representatives. "Good afternoon," one said, greeting David warmly. "We just came by to drop off the new HOA registration for the property." Karen froze. "Registration," she echoed. "Yes," the man smiled, "for Mr. David Carter, the property owner." The words hit her like a cold wind. "Owner," she stammered. David turned toward her, expression calm but firm. "You wanted to talk to the landlord," he said softly. "Well, you're looking at him." Silence hung heavy. For the first time, Karen didn't know what to say. Embarrassment spread through the neighborhood faster than gossip ever had. Karen locked herself inside for days, replaying every harsh word she'd spoken. The HOA board, now aware of the situation, called for a special meeting, not to question David, but to review Karen's behavior. David, ever gracious, attended quietly. "I'm not here for revenge," he said gently. "I just want peace." His calm demeanor disarmed even his critics. One by one, neighbors began apologizing to him. Karen listened from the back, her pride breaking under the weight of humility. After the meeting, David approached her. "We all make mistakes," he said. "But it's how we grow from them that matters." She looked down, speechless, her voice barely a whisper, "I'm sorry." Months passed, and Maplewood Estates felt different. The tension that once hovered over the neighborhood had faded, replaced by quiet respect. Karen, now volunteering at community events, often waved at David when he passed. He always waved back. The same woman who once saw only difference now found understanding. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she walked to his house and handed him a small plant. "A peace gift," she said shyly. David smiled, placing it by his porch. "Thank you," he replied. Growth starts small, but it lasts when it's real. The neighborhood that once judged by appearances had learned something deeper, that true ownership isn't about property. It's about heart, respect, and the courage to change.